Good morning, Terry. How are you, my friend?
Good. And how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Did you have a nice weekend?
Yeah, it was it was frustrating in ways, cold in the first day, but also very positive. So I
Hmm.
had a little bit of each.
So, you're talking a little bit about your experience at the Breeders' Cup. So, we're going to do a little bit of a Breeders' Cup rewind. For those of you who play along with us every day, you know that Terry was out last week because he was at the Breeders' Cup. Tom filled in more than admirably, come in the first day, scratched his way into a really nice pick four. So, you and I got a lot of pressure on us today,
We do.
Terry. Follow up on that. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about your experience at the Breeders' Cup. First of all, what was it like?
Oh, it was pretty neat to see the people how they were dressed, and there were a lot of characters there. I'll tell you, the seats we had were okay. They were pretty high, so it was hard to see, the track of the horses. Uh, but the food was a little lacking. Uh, all you could get was hot dogs and hamburgers, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the races go, they did a good job. The only thing that was very frustrating was that last race on Friday
Mm-hmm.
where they scratched the one horse, and then all of a sudden they decided, well, it can run for purse money only. And I don't know if you know the story, but basically what happened was that they said the one horse rared, but I watched that two or three times. I never did see the one horse rare.
Mm-hmm.
But then the two horse rared and fell down in the gate.
Right.
So the assistant starter opened the front of the gate for the one horse and it went out. So there's two veterinarians back there, two or three, and of course they scratched the two because it had put its legs over the top of the gate and then
Mm-hmm.
fell. And then because they thought that the one horse had broke through the gate, they scratched it
Oh.
without talking to the assistant starter or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And he came around and said, "Oh, no, I opened the gate and let the horse out." Well, once they had done that, they couldn't go back, and because of the laws in California, they couldn't go back and change it, but they put it in for the purse only. Well, of course, you saw the race at 1 by 5 lengths.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was frustrating because I had the one and the two on my ticket, my pick four, my pick five.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met a guy the next day who showed me the ticket where he had to pick six
Oh.
besides the pick four and pick five. He was, and yet I heard the people were just booing like crazy.
I'm sure they were booing like crazy.
They were.
Yeah, Tom Carley says a total error by the stewards. Yes, I agree. So from what I could see, like in real time, Todd Schrupp was saying that the horse was behind the gate and he wasn't unsaddled. So it didn't make sense to him that they were whispering in his ear that the horse was scratched, because he says it doesn't look scratched to me, because ordinarily they'll take the saddle off and get the horse out of there and they won't leave him behind the gate like the one is behind the gate.
Right.
So they scratched him, and then after they scratched him, from what I've read, they re-entered him. Right. And yeah, well, Tom says California racing is a joke. Well, I think that decision was absolutely a joke, because
terrible.
Well, if you run through the scenarios, right? First of all, the Breeders' Cup outside of like the Triple Crown racing is the biggest showcase of our sport, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you're on the ground and you're thinking of the scenarios, right? So if you scratch the one, right, that's the normal thing. Every horse player is used to that. Once he's scratched, you leave him off. That's it, right? Then everybody gets the favorite. There's no consternation. There's no controversy. There's no nothing. But once you re-enter him, right, now you've re-entered him. You put him back in the race. Now you have to think about what are the consequences of that. So you say he's purse only, but people can't go back and change their vertical tickets.
No, they cannot.
Just say, so why not leave the vertical tickets be and only do he's only wager only for race 10? Because once you let him in the race, you're screwed no matter what, because if he runs and he doesn't win, the bettors are going to be pissed off that you got stuck with the one horse that was originally scratched and you shouldn't have had him because he was scratched. And if he does win and you don't have him because they've taken him out of the wager pool, now he's raced and he's won. So once you let him back in the race, no matter what, you were in a no-win situation.
Oh, that's true. And here's the thing that they said was 4 minutes had passed from the time they scratched it and the time they re-entered it. Mm-hmm. They said that was too much time because they would then have to give 10 minutes or so for everybody to change their bets back. and then it was getting dark, so they couldn't do that. And you know, I
But you
agree with
can't.
you.
But your vertical bets are in already. I mean, you
I
don't have
know
to change those.
I know. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly because it cost me quite a bit of money. And the problem is I didn't even like the horse that turned out to be the favorite. It wasn't anything on my radar at all. So
Dakota Gold. Yep.
yeah, I didn't like it. So anyway, that was frustrating. Cost me, like I said, it cost me from being a winner for the day to just breaking even for the day.
Well, I would say probably the most frustrating thing to me was that nose bob between Aloha West and Dr. Shivel. So those are two horses you mentioned, Dakota Gold and Dr. Shivel, friends of the show. Dean and Patty Reeves own both of those horses. And I was pulling for Dr. Shivel. When he went wide, I thought, man, he's got this. And then
so did I.
Aloha West came, and I'm still not convinced based upon the photos that I've seen that Dr. Shivel's nose wasn't the one that was down. But what are you going to do?
I don't know because like you, it was a key for me. I keyed it in my pick 4, and I think I had it in a pick 5 going. And I had a money bet on to win because we had talked about it, and I really liked the horse, and bet up to win. And yeah, it was that was a heartbreaker for me.
Yeah, it was indeed. Some of the other races, like when they had Latruska, and those horses just went out way too fast. It just opened up the door for those bombs. I don't know how many people. Somebody had it because that pick 6 paid $500,000. So that's a nice ticket. I wish it were I who had that ticket, Terry, but I don't. I didn't have it, unfortunately. If I did, I probably would have taken today off.
Well, I actually took. I won a pick 5 and a pick 4 in that sequence was Truska. I forget exactly. I think it was CC in that race. Yeah.
Well, no, CC was before. That was against
that was
Jackie's Warrior.
Yes, and I had CC in my pick 4 and pick 5. And
that was the early pick 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it paid $2,000. So
speaking of Jackie's Warrior, you had Jackie's Warrior, you had Gamine, a couple of Baffert horses that didn't probably do as well. Corniche is still a Baffert horse, so I'm interested to see. I feel like, and this isn't a story that's going to, I think, play out now for the rest of the Kentucky Derby Trail. So Baffert can't collect points for the Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby race. Corniche right now looks like the best 2-year-old, right? Ran really well in that race.
He did, yeah.
So Bob's going to keep entering them, I'm sure, into these races. And it's going to be a game of chicken. Are you going to not allow the horse that has the most Kentucky Derby points, if that turns out to be the case, to run in the Kentucky Derby? Or is he just going to, at the last minute, flip the horse to another trainer? But if he can't collect points along the way, then the horse won't have points to get into the Derby. So I'm curious to see how that story plays out in 2022.
So am I. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. So, and I had that horse also as a winner. So, I had a good day on Saturday. Saturday was a lot warmer, and of course there were a lot more people there. But I had a really good day on Saturday. So
yeah, well, it was a nice day Saturday. I had a good day too.
Until the big long shot. That was the only problem, was that big $110 long shot knocked me out of the 5s and the 4s up there.
Yeah, it probably did to a lot of people, Terry.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Do you have any big long shots today with your best bet, Terry?
Well, let's see what I have here. I have Turf Paradise, and actually did let you know how I did yesterday. My best bet at Golden Gate Fields was number 7 Santana, and Santana won and paid $6.20, $3.60, and $3. So
interesting that there's a horse named Santana in California, right? Isn't he the guy who discovered California, supposedly?
I don't know.
I think so.
I think his guy plays guitar, to tell you the truth.
Oh, that's Santana. All right. Well,
so I think that might be who is named after. But
so who do you like today? Any guitar players in here?
Not that I know of. First of all, let me say I hope I'm pronouncing that Santana right. But I like Turf Paradise, race number 4. I tried to do the race for the pick 5, but I just didn't like the race before our pick 4 starts. But I thought
the pick 5 started. The pick 4 started in race 5.
Oh, you know what? Race 4, right? Oh, I think you're right. So I did pick the right one.
Once in a while I get something right, Terry.
Good.
That's the broken clock theory. So the rest of the day I'll be wrong.
Yeah. Well, this is a maiden race, and it's dicey to pick these. But anyway, number 6 Copper Charm ran a good second in her maiden race, and she'll be closing to get the win in this one. I'm thinking, and that's number 6. Number 4, Looking and Cooking, closed to finish third in her first race, and the trainer wins 25% of the time when shipping a horse to a track to race. And then number 7.
There's a good joke in there, but it's probably, you can't probably run those Looking and Cooking jokes in 2021, Terry. We'll get booted off of Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere. So we'll let you fill it in. Go ahead.
Okay. And then number 7, Spicy Similar.
Yeah, good enough.
Has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and the trainer wins 22% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to the race. So those are my pick for today.
That's your Terry's best bet. So take a look at that. You'll see Terry's best bet. Race number 4 to get off the first leg of the pick 5, because Terry and I, yesterday Terry's like, well, what track do you want to do, Rich? And I actually texted him, what track do you want to do? And he texted me back Turf Paradise. And the funny thing was, that's the one I had in mind. So Terry's like, great, minds think alike. And then I looked at our pick, our hot dog pick 4s as I was putting together the sheets and or the graphics, as rudimentary as they are, and we really didn't think a whole lot alike in a lot of different places today, Terry.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll find out how that works out today, right?
Yep, that's right.
So let's go craft our Fly 4 for Turf Paradise, where is sun and fun and horse racing. Man, you can't beat that, right? Especially up here in the north. Well, it's not so bad in Chirac today because it's going to be about 55, 60 degrees or something like that. It's pretty warm.
Yeah.
But let's get talking about the race. Race number 5, Terry, is the 6 furlongs on the main track. Last year at the meet, they had 136 races at that distance, Terry. 99 of them were won by horses that were considered early speed. 44 of the 136 actually broke first and finished first, so wire to wire. And it looks to me like there's a slight, I'm going to say middle out bias from 2 to 7, but from 2 to 7, the bias grows, and then from post 8 and out, it drops off. The rail struggles a little bit at Turf Paradise. I'd like to talk to somebody from there to find out why, or if somebody knows why, to let us know, because as I was looking at all the different, because we have 4 different distances today, none of the rail horses did exceptionally well. So let's get cracking, Terry, with this particular race and see what we like. What do you like in race number 5?
Okay, I like number 3, Gray Admiral. Won his last race, and the trainer wins 57% of the time when dropping a horse in class. And his early sprinting style will help his chances.
So that's number 3 in race number 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have to forgive me for a second because I forgot to put something down in the bottom here so that I can actually look at it, the horses, while we're talking. So I had to go ahead and close that out and bring this up. Otherwise, all sorts of things would be in there. Yeah, I had the number 3 too, Terry, as my top pick. And in fact, when I did my handicapping, the way the numbers rank out, it ranked out as what I would term a best bet. It actually is a best bet for us today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So make sure you head over there and check that out. So I expect you're going to see a great race from the 3-horse, Terry. Being that early pace is a big factor at this track, Terry, I went ahead and started with the 8-horse. That horse has, according to my numbers, the 3rd best early pace figures. So not the fastest out of the gate, but not the slowest. Not a big difference between Nevadan and everybody else. But the late pace figures are the 2nd best. So it has the best combination of early speed and late speed. So I feel like Nevadan can get out, stay out, and has won 9 of 31 at Turf Paradise.
Yeah, I like that horse too as my 5th choice, actually. I had a hard time between it and my 4th choice, but it shows a lot of early speed, and it's ran 2nd twice, 2 times, and won 1 time in the last 3 races. Has the highest last race speed rating, and it's got the best dirt speed among today's starters, tied with another one.
Yeah, it's also dropping off of a win, which is sometimes unusual, but not so unusual considering the horse hasn't run since September. So little time off, little drop, come back to the track, and hopefully find its way into the winner's circle. Who else do you like? Well, let's talk a little bit about ticket construction, Terry, because I feel like in races number 6 and number 7, it's not necessary to go as deep, maybe, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right about that, especially number 7. So,
well, I'd like a couple horses in race number 7. So let's go ahead and fill out the race 5, and then maybe we'll go to race 7 next and then come back and fill out the rest. So who else do you like in race 5?
Number 5, Mr. View. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and he's finished in the money 60% of the time at Turf Paradise. So he's got a second last time, third the time before, and he'll be closing. He likes to run around, come from behind. So he'll be closing at the end and try to – there's a lot of speed in this race, so I'm thinking that if they run themselves into the ground, this horse will come running. So.
Mr. View. Yeah, he does have some of the best late pace figures in the field, not amongst the best. I had him rated 4th, Terry, but so we'll go ahead and put him in there. He's only won 1 of 15 at Turf Paradise. I feel like the workouts aren't all that fast as he's getting ready for this particular spot. He's only got 1, like I said, win in 15 tries at Turf Paradise, only 1 win in 14 tries at the distance. So I feel like it's not a good track and or distance fit, but if you like him, we'll go ahead and give him a crack. I like number 6, Terry. No supper for you. Last time out, this horse won with one of the better speed figures. Since has come back and posted some really sharp workouts at Turf Paradise. I also have it rated as the horse that has some good early pace numbers. It's like the 4th fastest out of the gate. So the 7, the 2, and the 8 have some of the best early pace. Then the 6 and the 3 should be trailing right behind. So in that sort of like shotgun position.
Yeah.
But of the horses with some early pace, the 6 horse has the best late pace. So I think I got a good combination of speed and pace and a horse that looks like it's sharp right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Righty.
All right.
So you
like
me.
The 6? All right.
Yeah, well, I didn't pick it, but it looks fine.
All
you know,
right.
I really think this race is pretty wide open other than the 3 horse. But
all right. Well, let's just – who else would you put in here if you were going to put one in here?
Number 9, Union Brother. He's won his last race at Zia Park. He returns to a track where he has finished in the money 66% of the time and won 22% of those races. And he likes to be a little closer than Mr. View to the pace, so he'll be coming from mid-pack.
All right, so you said in race number 7. So for me, if there was any other horse in here, Terry, we got all the ones covered that I would do. Maybe the 2 on the outside. So I mean the outside of my picks, not as an outside of horse, but
yeah,
it's
fine.
Yeah, but off to the side, right?
Yeah, because I like the 2 passed by Paul. Yeah.
In case there's a scratch. So race number 7, Terry, you felt like there was one, because we're going to skip forward. You felt like there was not a need to go very deep here. So which horse do you think is the reason why you don't have to go deep?
Well, I like number 2, Ragheb. Finished 3rd versus Tougher in the last race. Drops in class today. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he likes this track and the distance.
Yes, Raghib. I played football against a guy named Raghib Ismail. Maybe you know him as the Rocket in high school.
Yeah.
Long time. He was fast to sell too. But anyway, looking at this race number 7, Terry, this one is 1 mile on the main track. 148 races during the 2021 meet earlier in the year. 111 were won by speed horses, so speed still factors. 40 of the 148 ran wire to wire, so you want to be fast. And I don't see a particular post bias. So looking at this race, Terry, the horse to me that has probably the best combination of early speed and then late closing ability is, again, I don't know why this works out like this, but the 6 horse, Arizona Moon. And how can you not go with the Arizona Moon in the track in Arizona?
Well, that's true. That's a good angle. I'm saying yes.
And he won his last race by 13 lengths. I mean, and that was at a mile. The first time in his last couple of races that he ran a mile in the 16th. So he just blew the field away with a 99 speed figure, dropping a little bit in class here. That one worries me.
Yeah, he has the highest last speed rating and also his highest speed figure at today's distance. So, yeah, he's got a good workout, too, on November 1st.
Any other horses you want to put in here, or do you want to leave it at 2?
I actually like number 3. We can put off to the side, Stacking Silver.
All right.
I like it. He can either run on top or he can come from off the pace. But we could, like I said, put him off to the side for now.
All right. And the other one that I liked in here, Terry, was the 5 horse.
Yes.
Clavichord. It's a little bit more of an off the pace type. So I feel like speed, when I watch these Turf Paradise races, I don't know about you, When I watch these Turf Paradise races, it seems like it's speed, 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 speed. Terry, Terry, I thought I seen you liking the 6. He's scratched in race 4, Terry.
Oh, he is, huh? Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's okay. That's the one where you put your Terry's best bet out there, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you for that update, Dallas. We appreciate it. All right, so in race number 7, the other horse that I like, Terry, like I said, was the 5, but I feel like it's a speed race, and hopefully between the 2 and the 6, the 2 looks like the class of the field, and the 6 horse looks like the speed of the field, or the best combination of early pace and speed. So let's rewind to race number 6 now, Terry. Okay. That one is 5.5 furlongs. So as you can imagine, if 6 furlongs require speed, so does 5.5. You have 95 races at the distance. 72 were won by horses that were considered speed. A full 39 of the 95 went wire to wire. And there is an absolute outside to in speed bias. The farther you got away from the rail, the higher the win rates went, which is kind of weird to me. But you would think in these short races, the inside would have an advantage, but clearly not the case here. The horse with the fastest giddy up and go, Terry, is number 9. To the moon and back. And I have a feeling he's going to be to the winner's circle and back, Terry.
So do I. He ran second versus Tougher in his last race, and he has the highest class speed rating. Trainer wins 31% of the time when dropping down 2 classes. He's, of course, coming in from
Emerald
Downs.
And I feel like that's probably, I would say, at least an even track, maybe slightly higher in terms of the quality of horses, but I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a little higher. So, But anyway, that's the one I like.
Yeah, and the trainer here, Frank Lucarelli, is dropping the horse down a couple classes. He's done it 70 times and won 30% of them, so about 21 horses out of 70. That's a significant number. 70 is not like 5, so it's a big enough data set to say that that number is reliable and an angle that the trainer probably tries to play. What other horse do you like in here, Terry?
Number 8, War Maiden, didn't break well in her last race and ran 3rd, but she had some excuses. She drops in class today and has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best speed is the fastest among today's starters.
Yeah, I had the 8 ranked pretty highly too. It should be a part of the early pace as well, Terry. And it's, again, we mentioned outside early pace. That's what you want to see. The 9 and the 8 clearly have some early giddy up and go. They'll be on the gas when the gates opened for sure. Another horse that I think should be on the gas when the gates open, Terry, and should be a little bit of a bit of a price, I feel like, is Bodie's Best, the 3-year-old. The number 3 horse, not the 3-year-old. She's actually 4. She's raced 7 times at Turf Paradise and has a couple of wins. But not only is it fast today, Terry, but she's getting a little bit of a weight break as well. So I feel like that speed can hold a little bit longer. And it's another one that's shipping in from Emerald Downs.
Absolutely, yeah. This the distance of this race is, and it's wheelhouse, in her wheelhouse. She's actually won 1 and ran second 3 times at this distance. So, and she really improved her last race.
She did indeed. The numbers were much better. So what do you think about, do you want to put the 3 in here, or do you want to put it off to the side?
Let's put the 3 in.
All right. So right now, based upon what we're at $12, Terry. So we're doing pretty good in terms of budgeting. Do you feel like there's another horse you want to add in here?
I like the one Win Like Coach. He ran 9th in her last race, but had a lot of excuses that she was bumped and broke at the break, and then went 5 to 7 wide on her turn for home. So, and it has 2 seconds in 2 races at Turf Paradise. That's okay. I mean, it looks like the horse does like the track. Working out there, workouts are a little bit on the slower side. So maybe you want to. Are you gonna lock that one in, Terry, or do you want to just put it off to the side? Let's just put it to the side for now.
All right. So let's go ahead and look at race 8. Do you feel like race 8 is wide open as well?
I do, yes.
So race number 8 is a little bit different because the first 3 were on the main track and speed, like get out of the gates and go. But oddly enough, looking at the race number 8, which is 5 furlongs on the turf at Turf Paradise, you would think it's going to be fast, right, Terry?
Yes.
Yes, get out to the front and go, but actually not. They had 44 races last meet at the distance and surface. 24 of the 44, so a little bit more than half, about 55% of those horses came from off the pace. They were stalkers and closers. Only 8 of 44 managed to go wire to wire. And interestingly, when you look at it, the average winner was probably 4th at the first call. So I think at 5 furlongs, they do the first call at 3/16, and then it was actually 3rd at the second call. So horses that come off the pace look like they should be horses that can get the job done. If you're looking for a combination of speed and late pace, Terry, that's going to be the 3-horse Mystic Reality. It should be right behind the 2 when the gates open, and then on the way home, only the 5 and the 7 have a little bit more late pace. But the 3 should be in front of them and has stronger legs late. So Mystic Reality looks to me like a horse that fits the course, should run this distance and surface very well. Should be 3rd or 4th right out of the gate. The ideal spot to be, and then has the best kick of the early up front horses to get the job done.
Okay, I'll go with that. It's not one that I picked, but
you should have.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah.
All right. Who else? Who do you like? What one is one that you picked?
Well, I like number 2, Sorso. Can improve with blinkers being added today, and has a really sharp workout on November 2nd at 47.2, 5th best out of 5. And I just think that, it shows a lot of early speed. I know that you said that doesn't do as well, but I think this horse will do pretty well.
Coming in from Canterbury Downs, right?
Yeah. And it's ran at Los Alamitos and did pretty well there. Santa Anita, it ran at Santa Anita. It didn't do too well at Santa Anita, but yeah, it's a horse that I guess that it's going to do well here. Yes.
Yeah, it's worked out very well at the course. Absolutely, for sure. So as far as outside, Terry, who's going to be coming late? That's a good question. For me, I'm looking at either the 5-horse with Right in the Dust. That's a horse that's won 1, 2, 3 in a row. It's actually run a bunch of high quality races in a row coming in from Arizona Downs, has run at Turf Paradise a few times. It's the first time this horse is going to crack it on grass. It's coming off a claim as well. Trainer Kurt Ferguson claims horse to, 26 times he's taken a horse to the course after claiming it, and he's won 27% of the time, 65% in the money, Terry. I feel like this horse has some really good late pace numbers. As I said before, it has the strongest late pace numbers in the field. But if you look at that last 3 races, the horse hasn't been all that far off the pace. To me, the only question with Right in the Dust is whether it can take to the grass or not. And if he does, based upon his early pace, late pace numbers and the workouts, I think the horse has a good chance to show up at a price.
Yeah, I like that horse a lot too. He's done, like you said, 3 in a row. It means he really likes winning. Mm-hmm. And then prior to those 3 in a row, he had 3 seconds. And what I like about him, or like about how he runs, is that he can either come from mid-pack or close to the pace, or he can lead. He can do either one. And as you know, I love that
versatility angle.
Yes, I do.
Yes, indeed. One of Terry's favorites. So, So right now we are at only $36, Terry. So we can go crazy here. Who else do you like?
Okay. I also like number 8, Hootfoot Best. Hootfoot has got the best turf speed among today's starters, and he has a sharp workout on the Turf Paradise, 4 furlongs, 47.2. 5th best out of 25.
Yes, and the horse seems to be one that likes the turf, winning 7 of 30 and hitting the board in 16 of 30. So about half the time he's in the board. That's not too bad. I do like the fact that the 8-horse is one that also has a little bit of late pace to it. Not the strongest of late kicks, but should be in that pack coming late at the end. Obviously, the odds maker likes it as one of the early favorites here. I'm just curious to see how the horse does perform at Turf Paradise. But I do like the fact that he's run at Fairgrounds. He's run at Oaklawn Park. Seems to me like it's a horse that's probably searching for a track where the competition fits and where he fits. And I think that's one you might have found here, Terry. So right now we're at, 16, 48, Do you want to add more here? Do you want to add more in the first leg? You want to add more in race 6 or 7? Where do you want to add more, Terry?
I have one that I'm going to add here as a lock.
All right, let's hear it.
Number 4, Ra of the Sun. We'll try to close and win the race. He's won 20% of the races at this distance, and he comes in from Mammoth Park, where he's been running, and now we can use the crop. So I think he'll do pretty well.
Yeah, it's for Tampa Mammoth, to Turf Paradise, but he has run at Turf Paradise 15 times and hasn't won yet. So hopefully today is that day, Terry, because I think his odds are likely to go up and not down based upon that Turf Paradise record. So, let's see, $60, Terry. So we can add a horse in race number 5 or race number 6 or race number 7.
Okay, let's see. We're a little bit light in the 7th race, aren't we?
Yeah, so if we went with race 7, let's see where that would put us. That would put us at, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 times 3 is 60 times 3, 180. That would give us, I think that would be exactly $90.
I think so. I think you're right.
So race 7, which one do you like? For me in race 7, I like the 5 horse is the one I picked. You picked the 3 horse, Terry.
Yeah.
I also had the 3 horse rated. Actually, I had it rated of my horses at the end, but I'll leave it up to you. You want to go with the 3?
Let's see. No. Yes, go with the 3. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with the 3. All right, so that's okay, Terry. We'll put all the pressure on you so we know who to blame tomorrow. So looking at our Fly 4 at Turf Paradise, hopefully we get off to a really good start this week. We got to catch Tom. Tom made us look foolish last week in his first go. Race number 5, we like the 3, 5, 6, and 8 in the event the horse gets scratched out and they don't re-enter it.
Yeah.
We have the 2 and the 9 are some alternatives for you as well. And again, look at these horses not only as a pick 4. We just like to do the pick 4 ticket because it gives us the most races to talk about. Look at exactas, trifectas, other vertical bets, rolling doubles, rolling pick 3s. In race number 6, we like the 3, the 8, and the 9. Race 7, the 2, 3, 6. Again, we have the 1 in race 6 as an alternative, the 5 in race 7 as an alternative. And we're closing it out here. I feel like if we get to race 8, I feel like we'll have a pretty good chance to close it out because we have the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 8.
We sure do.
Just go all boom because we're pretty close to that.
Yeah, I did a lot yesterday, and yesterday too. I did pretty well yesterday also. So,
all right, so that's going to be our $90 Fly 4 at Turf Paradise. Terry and I, as always, we also do our own hot dog pick 4s where we spend a little less money. I restrain Terry in that respect. Say, no, Terry, you got to do $20 only. So tell us about your pick 4, Terry.
Well, let's see. My pick 4 is, let me get back here to my screen here.
Well, you have the 2, the 3, the 5,
3, 5, and the 9. And then the 6th race, I have the 1, 6, 8, and 9. And the 7th race, I singled the 2. And then the 8th race.
Stand.
Yep. In the 8th race, I used the 2 and the 8. So my hot dog's a little bit odd compared to how we picked the fly pick.
Yes. Well, there's probably a way for us to get home through there. For me, I went 3, 6, 8 in the first leg, 3, 9 in the second leg, 2, 6. I feel like the 3 and the 9, the 2 and the 6 in races 6 and 7 are the best horses in those races. And then in race 8, the 2, the 3, and the 5. So, Terry, we can get home if we go 3, 9, 2, and 2. That's the only way we can hit every one of our picks across the board and have the hot dogs and the flies come home as winners this week.
That's true.
All right, finally, Terry, let's see if we can catch some Sasquatch. You stayed at Turf Paradise for your 3P place parlay. Tell us what you got.
I did. Number 3, number 2, race 3, number 2, Blue Azul. He's been in the money, I think, 50% of the time.
So that means blue, because Azul is blue in Spanish, I think.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
So it's blue.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then I like number 5, 3, Gray Admiral. And then I like in the 7th race, I like number 2, which was my single in the hot dog, Raghib Ismail, the Rocket from Notre Dame. Yes, indeed. I went to Indiana Grand because when I did these are the best bets today over at
guaranteed tip sheet. Make sure you head over there. They have every single race covered, every single horse, every single track, where we have 3 best bets for every single race, every single course. And when I saw the first name there, Smokin' Richie, I said to myself, I have to start there. And that's race 1 at Indiana Grand at about 2:25 Eastern time. Race number 8, so you're going to have to wait a long time to get to King Social. That would be Sean, right? And then Mr. Springtime. So I figured this was kind of like the player's edge pick for a place parlay, because you got Smokin' Richie, King Social, and Sean, and Mr. Springtime. I don't know if you get that or Tom gets that, but one of you should be Mr. Springtime.
Well, I love spring,
So then it is officially Terry. Terry's Mr. Springtime. We'll make Tom the Gray Admiral. He's number 3 in your second leg. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds about right anyway. But he was the one that got called with the freshest haircut when we did the show too, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
when they were rating our haircuts on. But me and you, we had a cap on, so it was really Sean and the jockey and then Tom. And Tom won the freshest haircut award. What do you think about that?
I think that's good, because mine usually looks pretty ragged. So,
well, I'm getting a little long right here myself, getting a little hippie. I'm gonna break the beads out.
I'm getting a little longer here. Oh, I guess I don't have any there.
Well, any is longer then, right?
That's right. Yes,
for sure. Any final thoughts, Terry? Did I miss anything today? Or
no, I think you did very well. I think you did great. Yeah. The final thoughts is I had a great time at Breeders' Cup.
Would you recommend it?
I would.
And if they were going to do anything differently than what you did, what would you do differently?
Well, I got there the first day before the first race, and I think that for me was a mistake. So the second day, we waited till about the second or third race, and we left. And people are going to think this is crazy, but we left before the end of the day. We left before the last 2 races. 1, to beat the crowd, and 2, I think it's easier and better to watch it on TV than it was from the seats we were at. You get a better view.
So your recommendation would be go a little bit later.
Yeah.
And if you go a little bit later, but at the same time, maybe if you have the capital, get better seats.
That's right. And the other thing I recommend, if you're going to play with your iPad, make sure that the battery will stay, because mine got pretty low at the end there. I think it's going to be in Keeneland next year.
It's going to be in Keeneland. Yep.
Yeah.
Lexington. Yep.
And I've been to Keeneland. I love that track. So that's a place that maybe you want to consider go see these. And I understand the last time they had it there, they did a really great job. I think the tracks and the people in Kentucky really, really treat the fans well there. So.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that next year I'm going to make the trip down there, because it's only about 5 hours from where I live right now. I'm hoping to get out of Chicago. So if there's any good realtor out there in the South where I can get a really good deal on a house by the ocean or the lake, or you find something that makes good sense, hit me up on Horse Racing Radar at Racing Radar on Twitter and on Facebook, or you can email me directly, gtsrichb@gmail.com. Of course, Terry, what do they got to do if they're watching us on YouTube?
Oh, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and also follow us on Twitter at Racing Radar, and like us on Facebook at Racing Radar. Give us a thumbs up.
Absolutely. Thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the higher we go up in the algorithms. Also, if you like what we do with our pick fours, the way we break down races, the news that we talk about, tell your friends about us. Help us grow the show. We would greatly appreciate that. Terry, maybe you'll be here tomorrow. Maybe you won't. We'll find out. But if not, have a safe trip back home. Okay. And then for everybody else today, hopefully all of your tickets are winners, and may all of your picks end up in the
winner circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody.